I could have died if I didn't know how to fight. So throwback to about a year ago, it was summer. We got all the boys around and we hit up the beach. This was on a weekend, so it was pretty packed. It was like 32 degrees. So yeah, the day goes by, we kick a bit of the footy, then we go to the pier. So there's about 5 of us, there's about 5 friends, and then there was 2 girls with us, one of them being the girlfriend of one of our mates. And so we were all jumping off, and then one of the girls was scared to jump off. So she was about to do it, and then her boyfriend pushed her off the pier. It was all good, she was laughing, it was all jokes, and then like she jumped off several times after that. And so we see at the start of the pier, there's a man walking towards us, and like we can already see he's like stumbling on the pier. He's clearly drunk, he had a beer in his hand. And so yeah, he comes over and he instantly starts yelling at us like, oh, you can't do that, you push her off. Like, listen mate, it's all a joke, it's just funny. We would have jumped in there if something happened. It's his girlfriend, it's all jokes. And even she's in the water saying, nah, it's all good. Keep in mind, this is like 11 a.m. in the morning, just a normal ass Saturday. And so anyway, yeah, we go to where this seating area is right at the end of the pier. So at the end of the pier, there's a table and there's some seats where we put our bags, we put our shoes, our hat, sunglasses, wallets, all that stuff. We kept jumping off, and then he just kept lingering around. He kept lingering around, you know, mumbling under his breath a few things, just being like a typical nuisance. And then all of a sudden what he does is he sits on the seat, but he sits directly on my glasses and my hat, like brand new glasses that I got and probably my favorite hat. And so I turn around and I said, bro, you're sitting on my hat, like as any rational human would. And so like he did not like that at all. So he stood up instantly and he grabbed my hat and he threw it off the pier. So like I didn't really react. I know he's trying to start a fight, so I didn't antagonize him. I just said, why did you do that? And so as I go to see if I can grab this hat, what he does is he goes straight behind me and punches me directly in the back of the head.
I was actually right there next to you, but you ate that shit.
I did eat that shit. Like he was in creative mode and everything. He could have easily knocked me out. That's not the point, but I instantly turn around. I'm like, what the fuck? And so first thing I'm thinking is like, how can I de-escalate this as quick as possible? It's like possibly the worst place to start a fight. You've got kids around, you got water, you got a pier. Like if you get knocked out off that water, you could possibly drown.
Yeah, but he was big. Like that was the thing that was concerning me. He was just like this big. I was sort of thinking he's like sort of like a final boss. Like he probably had 1,000 HP, which is why I was genuinely thinking like he could just probably just like muscle his way, like push you off the pier or something like that.
This just continues on. He keeps trying to escalate it while I'm trying to de-escalate it, and keeps pushing me till I'm at the edge of the pier, when I'm thinking I have literally no other option right now but to basically pump this guy right now. Either knock him out or just at least get him to the ground where he can't move. That's literally all I've got. I'm not trying to get knocked out off the end of this pier. That is a bad situation to be in. So he keeps pushing me and I just straight 200 pumped him straight to the head. I'll admit it. 200 pumped him. This is in a theoretical dream world. This didn't actually happen, and so yeah, he was downed, and then some random tried to get his reboot, try to res him.
Yeah, we're not trying to say like you should fight people on the street. You should always retaliate with physical violence because that's how you catch a case. But what we are saying is if we weren't fight trained, it could have ended way worse, to be honest. That was the best case scenario, was just 200 pumping him, someone else getting the res, and him going straight back to the reboot.
So as you guys can probably tell, before this, we had about, I think it was almost a year of fight training, like multiple sparring sessions. So I was pretty confident in this situation, how I would de-escalate the situation.
If we didn't have that fight experience prior to this, we were just doing bodybuilding training. And I will say this right now, your ego is way higher, and your need to feel like you need to prove something out on the street is way higher when you're a testosterone fueled bodybuilder that isn't really secure in his ability to handle himself.
I think the discrepancy between some regular guy and someone who just has basic fundamental boxing skills is highly underestimated, the difference. Like I urge you right now, if you've never been to a boxing gym or an MMA gym or any combat sport gym, just rock up to a couple of sparring sessions and actually see the discrepancy in skill.
Especially if you are a bodybuilder and you're like Bradley Barton, who thinks you even have somewhat fight skills or boxing ability. You will be humbled to the next dimension. I still have not had a sparring session yet where my nose hasn't been pouring blood, and I've been doing it for over a year now. Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why I think every bodybuilder or person who's just in the gym trying to get as big and beefy as possible should at least spend some time in a fight gym. And you know, we mentioned this in every single video. I think it's the way you should live, because when you actually go in there and train with people who know how to fight and people that can literally just dismantle you straight away, you have nothing to prove. You know what abilities you have. You're not insecure within yourself. You're not unsure of what your abilities are, or if you should go out there and prove something to some random on the street. Because trust me, when I was bodybuilding, I thought I could fight better than I do now, even though I can fight better.
And I honestly think this is a selfless skill to learn. Like, it's not really for yourself. It's also for your loved ones, the people around you. Think about if I had kids that were there, if I had, a girlfriend that was there, or someone else that could have gotten hurt in this situation and I wasn't able to do that. And I think you knowing that you can't handle yourself in that situation is a never-ending insecurity that you're gonna have if you just bodybuild or you just don't train combat sports at all. And I think that was the deciding factor that made me start.
Yeah, and that leads us on to the next point. Not only are you insecure about your ability to handle yourself in situations or your ability to fight, but most people who only bodybuild and are hyper obsessed with the fine details of their physique are extremely, and I'm saying this from personal experience, insecure and have massive body image problems. And this actually completely stops pretty much when you step into the boxing gym, when you learn how to fight, because you're not focused on superficial results. You're focused on getting better at the skills required to be good at boxing or fighting or MMA, or whatever it is.
This is exactly why we teach the AAA physique on this channel, and it's the only physique we preach. And that leads us on to the next point, which actually goes into your longevity of your health long term.
All of my health markers, I was tracking on a Whoop band the whole time I started boxing, and every health marker shot up. And it's actually interesting because even though you'd think I'd be recovering less with all the extra training, my sleep scores and my recovery scores were better. My resting heart rate was down and every health metric on the Whoop band went up.
So yeah, this video is basically just an invitation to join this sort of lifestyle, which I think is the lifestyle to live. I think it's in our nature, primarily, to not only become big, but to also become dangerous. I think this is fundamental to learn as a man, and it's why it's what we teach on this channel. It's also why we made the entire Spartan protocol and why guys are actually changing their lives within the Spartan protocol. Like, there's countless testimonials of guys, even guys we've met in the gym, that say their lives are completely changed due to the Spartan protocol. But yeah, we won't waste any more of your time. If you do want to learn specifically how to live this lifestyle, the diet that it requires, the training plans, how to recover properly, it's literally all within the Spartan protocol. We've just crossed over like 200 members that are in there now, which is awesome. You can watch the full big and dangerous guide right here, and I'll see you boys in the next video.